start. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Target here, and welcome to an episode of Be a GM. Now I'm starting a new one that doesn't. It's the old way we used to do things. You know what I mean? Where we have a team and we're gonna be a little bit interactive, but it gives me a little bit more freedom. And then I'm also not waiting on a lot of responses from you guys. Now, when I put out the Be a Pro video the other day, I asked, what kind of a GM would you like to see? What team would you like me to use? And guys said, we want to see Rebuilder. Now, the obvious Rebuilder based on the NHL standings are the Colorado Avalanche, but the problem is that the Colorado Avalanche, they actually have some really good players in theory. Like, they're all really solid players, so the fact that they're not winning is just a little ridiculous. So, what we're going to do is we're going to use the Detroit Red Wings, and I came to this conclusion by a couple ways. Number one, I wanted a team that didn't have a ton of huge assets available to them. I know they've got a lot of good players, so don't get me wrong. Detroit fans, don't get crazy pissed off when I say things like that. I wanted a challenge, and I think that the Red Wings are a challenge. They have an aging core, but they have a couple of young guys still that are being effective in ways all over the ice. So that's what I wanted to do, was bring you guys something like this. Now, other teams that I could have chosen, the Arizona Coyotes, I felt that they were a little bit obvious. Could have also taken the Vancouver Canucks, but you know what? Quite frankly, I'm not a Canuck fan. And the easy move with them is trading away the Sedins for some assets. And I didn't want that per se. Like, for me, if I trade away Zetterberg or I trade away Kronwall, those are big impact players on the team that would leave gaping holes, especially Kronwall. I know Zetterberg is a great player, don't get me wrong, but I think that the defense is truly where the Detroit Red Wings would really feel a loss if they lost a player like Kronwall, versus I think they could bounce back if they were without Henrik Zetterberg. So they also have some good players, but I want to take a look at the roster and see here what the team looks like. Now, I did a lot of we're gonna do managed contracts, so I have a better idea. I've done quite a bit of GM, or pardon me, franchise mode in this, so I kind of know what I'm doing, at least in a little bit here. Now, let's take a look at our buy overall. So obviously we got Henrik Zetterberg and Nicholas Kronwall. They're our two top players. They are both 35, so they are in the decline. I don't see us holding on to them for very long. I mean, we could trade them or we could keep them. It looks like, Zetterberg's signed forever at $6 million a year. He's 89 overall. Like, he's a top line center. There's no doubt about it. He's a fantastic player. But will we be keeping him long term? Probably not. Would it be nice for him to retire Red Wing? Maybe you guys can weigh in on that one. Nicholas Kronwall, he's kind of in the same boat as well. He makes a modest $4.6 million for an 88 overall. Does that put him as a top 2? Or does that put him as a top 4? Top 4 defender. Yeah, I think you need to be 89 or higher to be a top 2. So, top 4 defender at $4.6 million. That's not bad at all. Gustav Nyquist, he's still young. He's in his prime. He's 27 years old. I think Gustav we could hang on to. He's a decent shot, high 80s for those shots. They got him as a first-line forward. He's more of a second-line forward in my mind. But you know what? Playing with the right player, he can still score. And I think Zetterberg is that type of player. I mean, Zetterberg is a playmaker, is he not? Yeah. And he's got great face-offs, decent face-offs at 80 overall. It's hard to believe that he was drafted in the 7th round, eh? That's ridiculous. Dylan Larkin, he's kind of our up-and-comer here. 86 overall. Dylan Larkin is an absolute speed demon. 93 speed is what they've got him at. I think that he could be a little bit higher than that even. If you're going to put McDavid, I'd put McDavid at about a 98 speed. Let's put Larkin at about a 95, 96, because he's a quick player. He just doesn't have the hands that McDavid has, basically. They got him as a second-line player. Franz Nielsen, another second-line centerman, playmaker. He's a little bit older now, 32 years old, so he's exiting his prime. Thomas Tatar, 86 overall, medium elite potential. That is pretty good if you ask me. He's 25 years old, so he'll probably cap out at about maybe an 87, depending on how the year he has. So that's a good left winger for the second line. Then you got Danny Dekeyser, who's 85 overall, so he's basically our second best defenseman, Danny Dekeyser. He's a left shot, so he's basically second pairing, whereas I'll put Kronwall in the first pairing. Mike Green, he's a right shot, is he not? Yeah, he's a right shot offensive defenseman. So he'd be on the top pairing with Cronwall in my mind. He's 30 years old. His contract is 5.9 for 2 more years. We could probably ride it out with our cap space. How much do we have? We got $1.6 million in cap space now, but we've got a lot of players signed. So I think that we should be able to hold on to him through his contract, and then at least maybe at the end of the 2018 season, we can re-sign him for, the 2017-18 season. We can re-sign him for a much more modest contract. Justin Ablocator, he would be basically right now our second line left winger, but we are missing that top line left winger. Power forward, 29 years old, he's in a prime. Eriksson's a left-handed shot. He'd basically be our third pairing left side defenseman. Looks like he's a serviceable left side defenseman, but he's making $4.170 million. So to be honest, I'd be almost willing to move him for a more appropriate third line pairing defenseman. Darren Helm, I don't know why they got him as a winger in this game, but he's a better centerman. I mean, look at those faceoffs, 85 faceoffs. I picture Darren Helm being our second line or a third line center, the guy that can play the penalty kill, shut down, play the tough minutes. That's kind of where I see Darren Helm. Let's see here, Sheehan, however you pronounce it, Riley Sheehan, another centerman, big boy, 80 faceoffs. They got him as a third line checker. He's coming up. He's a top 6 forward medium, so you kind of want to play him in his spot at least, or at least on the left-hand side. So I could see him maybe playing the third line left hand. Oh my goodness, I don't know. I don't ever think I've seen this guy before. Andreas Athanasiou. Holy Athanasiou. That's how I'm gonna guess it is pronounced. Athanasiou. Fourth line forward, so that's nice. So he can play our fourth line. Faceoffs are decent actually. 79 overall faceoffs. Not a particularly physical player. He's decent physicality. His skating is where he seems to excel. The rest is pretty modest, I would say, for a fourth liner. Johan Franzen, he's making $3.8 million. Yeah, there's a contract we're going to want to get rid of, I think, in Johan Franzen. They got him as a third line checking forward, but I'm not paying almost $4 million for a third line forward. There's a good one. Luke Glendening, he's a decent third line checker right there. He's making a very good salary. He's got decent defense. Like, it's not great, but it's mid-80s. Yeah, mid-80s to high 80s for the defense. The only thing that's dragging him down is that defensive awareness. That really does drag a player down quite a bit. And you know what? His skating is okay. His puck skills and shooting are not great. He's more of a defensive type player. Let's see here. Joe Vitale, not Jake Vitale. Joe Vitale. He'd be basically our fourth line player. He's defensive, decent defense. Oh, his defense actually sucks. His physicality is good. I don't see Joe being a serviceable player for us. Xavier Ouellette, he's a young player, I suppose. 23 years old. He's still got a couple years to mature. They got him as low potential as a top 6. I don't see him being on our NHL squad. I don't want to get too far down here. We got Anthony Mantha in the works. I don't know why his rating is so low, but Anthony Mantha is an absolute beast of a sniper. I think that if I were the EA Sports team, I'd be putting him at least probably about a low or a medium elite potential, or you can put him at a I'd be willing to put him at a medium elite potential on Anthony Mantha. I think that he could get there. They got him as a fourth line forward. People say that you should play your player in that position, but quite frankly, I think he's going to benefit more from playing the right wing in the AHL. I just think that's what's going to happen. I know in a previous one I had not Mantha, Julian Gauthier, and I played him on the fourth line like I thought that I should, like people recommended that I should. And you know what? He never went anywhere. And I think the reason being is that he was stunted. He didn't get the amount of playing time that he needed. He didn't score the points that he needed to actually get better. So what we'll do is we'll probably put him down in the minors for now, and we'll see where we go from there. Let's take a look down. Oh, no. We don't want the main roster. We want in the system. Do we have any players with potential? Let's see here. Svechnikov, 72 overall. So we got a lot of low elite players. So I think I'd like to say we are a rebuilder, but I think we could actually challenge for a playoff spot if we wanted to. Hold on. In the system, we need to take a look at our goaltending situation. I don't know what we've got. Okay, so Mrazek's at 84 overall. Jimmy Howard is an 85. So that's a good tandem. But look at how much money they eat up. You got a 5.2 and 3.9. So that's over $8 million. That's $9 million in goaltenders. That's over $9 million in goaltenders. It's just retarded. You don't need that much. Obviously, Jimmy Howard is on his way out, but maybe we could bundle Peter Mrazek and somebody else for an up-and-coming goaltender, somebody that, you know, by the time Howard's ready to retire, and we'll say we'll give Howard 3 to 4 years before he's no longer even serviceable, and then we can move him out. That's kind of the plan. I think that'd be a good idea anyway there. You guys can weigh in on that one. So that's our roster. What I'm going to do now is I don't know if I can, how much GM stuff I can do at this, or sorry, owner stuff that I can do at this point. I might have to wait. Let me take a look here. Owner, arena and facilities. I always just do whatever they suggest that we do. Set prices. I always do that first. Auto assign all. There you go. For now, I guess it's all set anyway, and we'll see. And then you can take a look at the fan feedback as we go. Auto assign all. Merchandise. Auto assign all. There you go. And parking. Auto assign all. Good. Okay, so that's done. I don't like to waste too much time with it. I think it's kind of silly, the system. It's not really that great. Let's see. Everything's in good condition. Oh, the bathrooms need to upgrade. I don't usually do them until they're below 50. That's usually when I kick in and do them. So we're going to leave that for now. Let's look at our owner goals for the season, though, because that is another element to our game. See what they want. So they expect us to boost fan happiness to at least 95. So basically that means at the end of the year, we're going to have to make sure that all our facilities are upgraded, and we're going to have to be winning. I don't know if we're going to do that. So that's our primary goal. Our secondary goals is I want you to build a new parking lot to increase our parking revenue, and I want you to boost our team chemistry by 5 to 82. I think we could do the team chemistry for sure. If we have the money, we'll do the parking revenue, and that'll be $40,000 right there. If we don't get that fan happiness, and I don't think we will, because if we end up tanking, I don't see how we're going to be happy. Like, if we're looking at currently, they say the state of the team is rebuilders. As rebuilders, my expectations are low in regards to team performance, but we still need to field a competitive team to keep the fans coming back. I understand that. I don't know that we're going to do that. We can't obviously sell the farm here. They're going to want us to keep Zetterberg. They're going to want us to keep Cronwall, and I'm fine with doing that at least to the deadline. We'll see where we're at. If at that point we need to sell, we need to sell. But I think we'll be holding on to them for at least this year, maybe next year. And depending on how the year after that goes, the year after that. I know that we'll probably let Cronwall retire at Red Wing, because I think he could be serviceable on a better contract, on a good contract. Same with Zetterberg, he could be serviceable on a better contract. Not that their contracts are bad by any stretch of the imagination, but we'll be definitely be. I'm going to be going back to that .85 rule. Like, there's no doubt about it. All right, so now some of the things that we wanted to do was trade away. What's that boy's name? Not Zetterberg, Franzen. I don't think that there's a place for Franzen, and the other one's that defenseman there. Oh, hold on. I want to go to the Red Wings. I want to go to our rosters. I want to take a look at our defense situation. I didn't actually roster moves. Let's take a look at all skaters, defensemen. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those are our top 6. That's not good at all. Let's take a look in the system. We got McElrath as well as depth defenseman. These guys are minor, so I'd honestly be sending you down, you down, you down, and call up McElrath, however you pronounce it. What is he? Is he depth? No, minor. So let's do that. Is that going to be enough? Confirm. Okay. In the system, NHL, so that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got to call up one more from there. I guess we'll call back up Ouellette. Okay, so there you go. So you can see we're also missing a player there. We can go take a look at free agency as well. That's something we can take a look at. Maybe get 2 defensemen signed to a 1-year deal just to get us through. Maybe or 3 defensemen or, you know, something like that. Let's take a look at our right wingers. Our right wing situation. We got basically Nyquist. Franzen's going to go. Clendenning's a 3rd or 4th. Vitali I'd like to see go. Mantha's going to go down. I'm going to send him down. Let's take a look at... Let's take a quick look at it in the system here. Yeah, that's it for now. Left wingers. So we've got Tatar, Abdelkader, and Helm. Helm's going to probably play center on the 3rd line, so I wouldn't really qualify him there. Let's take a look at our centers. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the system, we've also got Street, and that's it. And then that is it. I just want to take a look at our forwards. We need 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 players up right now. We could field this team, but this is not a great team. Let's explore some options here. We're just going to do best lines for now. We can always adjust that a little bit later. You guys can weigh on what you think. We're going to go to trade and... Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do free agency first. Is this it? I think this is it. Oh, no, shoot. Trade and improve. That's... I always get confused with these menus, man. I preferred the menus before they went to the next-gen format. I don't like it as much. I think it's clumsy. Like, I get what they were getting at, but I don't think it's the best system in the world. Okay. So here you go. James Wisniewski only wants 1 year. He's an 85 overall, so maybe it's a little bit much. Like, we're basically looking for a... we're looking for a Mazzaros, Wisniewski, and a Stewart type player. I don't know that I want Stewart. He's pretty small, is he not? Brad Stewart. Yeah, only 6'2", 215. Never mind. He'd be pretty good. Is he a left-handed shot? He is. And then Mazzaros, he's also a left-handed shot, but he's a top 6 player. There's 2 defensemen we can get right there. All right, I don't want Wisniewski. He's 40 years old. There's no way I'm going after him. They also have Alexander Semin. I'm really not looking. I guess we could add Semin at 2.8. We don't have the cap space right now. We'd have to trade some players. Let's take a look also at goaltenders. Oops. Not categories, all skaters. Goalies. Let's take a look at goaltenders here. And it will think about it. And think about it. There you go. Ray Emery. That's the only goaltender you have. So, I mean, we could trade one of them easily and get somebody out there. But the thing is, too early on, nobody's going to want to be trading any prospect type players. You know what I mean? Like, we got a few more minutes here. Let's take a look at some options, okay? So, if we were to trade, let's say, Mrazek, who probably has more trade value than Howard, just based on age. Goalies. There we go. Yeah, actually, they're pretty close, Mrazek and Howard. So, I'd trade Mrazek just because. I guess he has low elite potential, so we could trade Howard. I mean, 84 overall is not much of a difference. So, Jimmy Howard. And, I mean, Anaheim would take him. We'd love to get Gibson from them, but I don't think that's realistic. Bernier, no, neither of those guys. I don't want a player like that right now. I want a player that is, you know, up and coming, that has that potential. Not there, obviously. Boston doesn't want Howard. Let's take a look at Buffalo. They've got Robin Leonard, but he's already 87 overall. He's going to max out right away. Carolina. Nobody, really. It is hard to find elite goalies, man. It's so hard. I can never remember who has them anymore. Calgary doesn't. No, they've got, like, nobody. Okay. Nope. Colorado. I don't think they have anybody. Even Varlamov, 86 overall. I thought he had a higher rating. I mean, he had, like, a 90 rating before. I guess he's really dropped. Nothing here. Man, Niemi, they've only given him an 82. I remember when both those guys were 84s or 85s. Edmonton does not have any goaltenders. He's got Cam Talbot, who's an 87 overall. Who else wants him? Come on. Okay, New Jersey. I don't think they have any goalies, man. Schneider, and I'm not willing to trade that much asset to get a goalie. I'd sooner sit on Mrazek and just see what happens. San Jose, Martin Jones. You know, he's going to max out right away. He's not exactly young. They've got a couple here. Vasilevsky, Ingram. Ingram's only an AHL starter? Really? Huh. I guess he didn't perform that well at anything. Frederick Anderson. Look at this. This is what happens, man, when, like, EA takes into consideration Toronto fans. Like, if Frederick Anderson is not an 88 overall goalie, you're telling me that this guy is better than most of the goalies in the game? I don't think so. He's been good. He's played a lot of games, but he's not that good. That's ridiculous. Give me a break. And Vancouver and Washington. So, I mean, maybe we have to look at the teams that aren't wanting to get rid of a goalie. Maybe you guys can suggest somebody like a Malcolm Subban. He's 22 years old, low elite potential. Like, there's nobody out there. We already checked Buffalo. There's nobody out there that really has any good goaltenders, good young goalies that are of good potential. We pretty much have to draft them. Look at this. Look at an embarrassment of riches right here. Junis Corpusalo, 82 overall. Like, come on, that's the kind of goalie we need. Calgary, no, we already checked them. Chicago, I don't know. Maybe you guys have some suggestions. So I think we're just going to go over this really quickly one more time. And then I'll post this video hopefully sooner so that you guys can get into this and weigh in. We're going to go to our manage our rosters. We're going to go to our roster. You know what? Let's go to our contracts. I think that's easier. Manage contracts. View contracts. Okay, then this will give us a better idea of where we are. So the players that we're looking to trade. Okay, I think there's 3 or 4 players that we're looking to trade right off the hop. Number 1 would probably be, where was it? Johan Franzen. I'd also be looking to move Eriksson. I'd also be looking to move one of our goalies. Okay, so either Howard or Mrazek. You guys can kind of let me know which one you think on that one. In the system, I'm really not too concerned about too much right now. And then also the potential of trading Zetterberg or Kronwall. They would return us probably the best possible players, but they might be a deadline play. You know, trade them to a team that's competing for the Stanley Cup. Let's give them a chance to win again, and we'll take back one of their elite players. Like, for example, if Columbus is in the playoffs, you could trade Zetterberg or Kronwall for one of those guys. You know what I mean? Like, for that goalie, whatever his name is. You could trade him away for that, and we could get something back in return. And we could also trade, you know, one of our goalies for a team that's pushing for a playoff spot as well. At that point, what do you guys think about that? You can let me know down in the comment section below, as always. And I think we're just gonna leave it right there, and you guys can tune in for the next episode. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it with that one. I hope you guys are enjoying me coming back. I hope this is an entertaining series again. You know, I love doing the GMs and all this stuff. I think it's a lot of fun. So weigh in, let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna leave it right there. Until next time, I'm Target Audience, and I'll catch you guys out on the ice.